So,
All right. The first ever podcast.
this is our first ever podcast,
Yeah.
everybody. Welcome to our podcast.
What's good?
This podcast is Springboard, and
Yes.
the basis of this podcast is to showcase people's, whether it's their talents, whether it's their stories, whether it's their life-changing moment that kind of set them on that trajectory to get to where they are today.
That's right.
And
All right. So we start with introductions. All right. You go first, Ray.
All right. So I am Raymart Rhoda. You could call me Ray.
That's about it.
This is pretty much what I've been wanting to do for a while. And I think this world needs a little more hope, a little more inspiration, especially in regards to everything that's going on right now. People are stressing out, right? Mental health is on the rise.
It's going crazy out here.
Yeah, I think we need a little more camaraderie.
Yeah.
We're all human. I think
Yeah.
that's what people forget.
Exactly. And it's like, I think this is probably a good tool to like just, get people's stories in here, realize that we're all pretty much the same. And by the way, my name is Sal. I am Ray's roommate. We all go here, university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do we go, Sal?
Where do we go? Oh, Channel Islands University at Camarillo, California.
Yes, the 93012. Not trying to, Well, I mean, if you guys search it up, you know where we're at. If you
Malibu
see us
adjacent. Malibu adjacent.
around- Yes, that's the closest big
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice drive down PCH. Have you gone?
Yeah, I biked down that thing, bro. 42 miles.
I still can't believe that. You told
Shit.
me it was what, around 8 hours.
Nah, it was like 4.
Okay, 4 going and then 4 coming back.
No, 2 going, 2 back.
Oh,
Wait,
really?
it might have. No, because I don't know. I don't remember. I remember leaving at like around in the afternoon.
Mhm.
And then getting back, like, it was like cold not late at night. It was like 8. The cafe was closing. It was like closing time, and I was like starving to death.
Yeah.
And it was cold. I was like, man, that was a dumb idea. When I got there to the beach, 20 miles down, I knew we were screwed because I seen the passing LA County line. So I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, we're in Malibu.
Oh, I can't.
Like, it was crazy. And then when I got there, I was chilling at the beach. And I'm like, I had to ride this back.
That's the funny thing with traveling, especially if you're going on foot or anything for that matter, is you have to come back from where you started.
Yeah. And I realized that when I had the bike. And then we were like, we should probably Uber, get a deluxe Uber. There were no Ubers there.
Dang.
Well, that ain't gonna happen.
In Malibu?
Oh, there's no Ubers there. People got cars.
You're not wrong.
They got money down there, dog. Ain't need no Uber.
That's true. Okay, let's dial back because
Alright, we'll bring it back. We gotta take it back. We just like went off.
See, we've been talking about starting this podcast for a while. I've been thinking about starting a podcast for, I don't know, I want to say about maybe 2014, 2015, when Snapchat was a big thing. I realized that we need to document our lives and tell our stories. Storytelling has been the biggest way of communication.
Right.
In terms of carrying culture as well.
Yes. Exactly.
But we also have our inner culture,
Mhm.
our personal culture,
Yeah.
and the things that make us who we are.
Yeah, like the things that shape our environment, where we came from, the way we were raised and all that. It brought us to where we are now today.
Exactly.
And it's really important to tell, because there are people out there, like there might be some of y'all that might have came from the same place we came from, and you'll figure it out down the line. We'll come back to this many times throughout the podcast, throughout many episodes. We'll refer to it back because it's very relevant even to this day. We've gotten here based on what we did and what we've been through, so it's very important, like you were saying.
Yeah.
That's why I think so too,
It's funny because I don't know if y'all do. I don't know if you do this. I'm sure you do.
Well,
I think you're a very spiritual person.
yeah, I guess.
At least that's what you come off as. At
At
least you're in peace. You're at peace.
Alright.
That was my first impression of you. Is like you were very chill, down to earth,
I get
and
that.
I appreciate that about you.
I
Like there's
try.
no facade.
Nah, I try not to. It's hard to be something you're not, so I'm just like, I'm just gonna do me.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happens, happens. Or whatever. So chill.
Yeah.
That's how it always been for me.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
What's up?
You respect yourself
Yeah.
enough to.
I'm not gonna switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's of course. And it comes from, your culture. It comes from knowing where you came from, knowing who you are, and maintaining that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Again, going back to the whole introspection and just reflecting,
Mm-hmm.
it's important to do that because you know where you came from. Again, I mean, I don't want to sound redundant, but it's important to know your origin, like your origin story. I know Black Widow is coming out
Oh,
after the whole Endgame series.
bro, I don't follow that too well.
It's okay. It's pop culture. It's something that
I
I'm
don't
phasing
know.
out of.
I mean, the Marvel movies are cool and all. I've seen all the way up to Infinity War, but that's it. I haven't seen Endgame. I don't really watch the other Marvel movies. I should. They seem good. I mean, it's good. Good to kill some time and all that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I just never sat down and watched them all yet.
it's
I should
okay.
though. That's an idea for a future podcast. Do like a whole a whole 24-hour stream just straight watching all the Marvel movies.
Oh,
Get
man.
that giant box. Have you seen that box
The box
online?
set.
Yeah, where it's all the movies, like every single Marvel movie up to before Endgame,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just all of them, of all the characters of all the Avengers.
I
Uh,
There are some cringy movies in between.
Oh,
I'm not gonna say
yeah,
which
dude.
ones because that's my opinion. But going
No, I
back to
agree.
origin stories, it's your basis. It's your foundation as to, again, where you came from, what you've learned, what you've encountered, all the lessons that you harbored within yourself. And let's be honest, most of the time, whenever we learn a life lesson, it's
it's always negative.
it's okay, not negative. I
Oh.
think it's a difficult event.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I guess you're right.
It's
Yeah.
without that kind of experience, without hardship, without difficulty, you don't build character.
I agree. Yeah, that's true.
And so,
For
in
sure.
that sense, if you can always take a piece of your history with you wherever you go, that helps make you authentic. Or rather, it is a lens to see how everything is. And it allows you to be authentic. It pushes you and encourages you to be authentic.
Right. And I think you carry, like you were saying, the history major. You carry the history part with you because you were raised just like how your father was raised or how your mother was raised and how they were raised as well. It's a whole traditional line, unless it's broken. But it's a whole tradition. You're carrying that history with you, and it's how you're shaped. I think that's a great message. I think so. Solid.
I think right now is a good time to kind of tell them about where we are. I mean, you already know where we are, but in terms of where we are in our lives and how we are progressing from day to day. I mean, I just started here at Channel Islands. This is a CSU Channel Islands, and it's been a journey to get here, I gotta say. And I'm sure anyone here could say the same.
Yes,
Um,
most certainly.
But yeah, I am a psychology major. I've definitely gone through some experiences that kind of really pushed me to enter that field. I switched around majors a lot. And I started off with, I started off with psychology, believe it or not. Then I did the typical Filipino thing to do, go into nursing. You know, it's a stable job.
Ooh.
You get paid well. But I learned in that time it wasn't for me, and it took a while for me to get my bearings in terms of who I am and what actually made me happy
Right.
and what allowed me to feel at peace with my day to day. I think that's important too, is that we need to step back to ourselves.
One day at a time.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's needed. Like for me, history major, I went through a couple of changes, especially going through high school into JC. Like I wasn't too sure if I was actually going to go to JC or not. I thought I was going to go from high school into like a mechanic's job because I was in the auto shop like a lot. Like I took auto shop like the last 2 semesters of high school, so I really liked it. And then I went to a campus tour on UTI, which is like Universal Technical Institute.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of campuses throughout the country. And there I realized, maybe this isn't for me. I mean, I like cars, they're nice and all that, but working on them as a career, I don't know. So I figured maybe look into JC and look into junior college, and I did. But as far as like a major, I had no idea. I was like, oh, major, well, let me go liberal studies. No offense, liberal studies majors, because it was like the most broad subject. I could look at everything and try to figure out what I want to do. And initially, I was going to graduate with that liberal studies degree, but I ended up falling in love with history more than anything. And I was like, okay, history is cool and all that. And then before that, I forgot to mention,
Yeah.
I played music for like a long time.
You did tell me that.
Yeah, and I was almost to be a music major, but I was like, I can't do that.
Ah.
I could not do that because one thing, I cannot make music a career. I think music is like one of my escapes. I listen to music when I want to relax. I'll play music sometimes. It's just a great escape. And if I made that into a career, I think it'd be spoiling it for myself.
Yeah.
And so I made like history kind of like my main thing, my main go-to for as a career. I can make that a career. I won't feel bad about making a career because it's something I like to do, and it's something I was raised around. Going back further, I'm just jumping around a little bit. Going back further, like whenever we had TV back in the barrio, when I was younger, like the only channels that would come in was like Lifetime.
My mom loves that.
Yeah, Lifetime, those basic channels for novelas.
Teleseries. Oh, no, telenovelas.
Telenovelas.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was thinking about the Filipino version, but I mean, same thing.
Yeah, same concept. And they always come out like the afternoon. And History Channel. Like there were a few channels we get. Everything was like scrambled. And so I still have nothing in common with like, how like people reminisce like they old Disney, old Nickelodeon stuff.
Yeah.
I got no idea what y'all talking about. I have zero concept what that means to me because I never seen any of those shows when I was younger. It was like, oh, I seen Unsolved Mysteries, yeah, or like some History Channel documentary about like the Dark Ages.
Yes, I definitely watched those.
I'm like, I don't know, and so I was like, history is cool. Especially when I actually stepped foot into a history class, for like, JC, it was. I got to explore a lot of subjects that normally weren't talked about in elementary school or in high school. And it got me real curious to figure out, what else do I not know about the history around us? Because all we know is the old white men of the United States. And it got me, searching more deeper about, the history of other countries, of other continents, of other cultures. And to this day, I'm still curious, still searching. I still like to explore, different subjects of history. It's a very alive subject. History is very alive. There's always new interpretations of text documents based on new things found within the archives or new translations of a language that we just barely got to understand or whatever it may be. History is always changing.
Wow.
And it's an always changing. I always say it, always changing. But yeah, so history, I fell in love with that. And then I graduated with 3 degrees. Yep. 3 degrees. One of them was for arts and humanities. That was the liberal arts one I was going to transfer with initially.
Okay.
But then I changed it to liberal or associative arts with a transfer in history. And then I picked up an elementary teaching degree just on the way through because I was doing my GE and I picked a lot of hard classes to take for my GE, which figuring out now, I kind of didn't need them, but degree is good, so I just picked that up. So
I didn't know you had a teaching degree, or was it child development, or was it? What was that?
Well, the title itself for the degree is Associate of Arts in Elementary Teaching.
Okay.
I don't think it's a childhood development degree, but I know because I talked to a lot of teachers that are teaching now, and I know that you can use that to try to like get a foot into the door into like going into like teacher's ed or whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's something. I got something to fall back on, which that's what I was aiming for one degree. That's what I was thinking, I was like, okay. I didn't really think I'd make it to university, like because of like, financial issues, which really isn't a problem to anyone. Financial
Hey,
it's
don't discount that, man.
it's heavy, but you can always find a way.
Yeah.
Most of the time, barring some crazy circumstance.
Yeah, I agree. If there's a will, again, if there's a will,
Yes.
there's a way. If you have the spirit to push on, then it's all for you. And again, I congratulate you.
Thank you.
For making it, because I definitely know what that feels like
Right.
to feel and find yourself in that situation where
You're just
you're
not
asking
sure.
yourself, can I get here?
Yeah, you're not sure. And it's really great too to have like a good support. I don't know if you had a lot of support behind you, like your family or whatnot, but it's good to have that, family, friends, a good support to help you through it.
Definitely.
Yeah, because they'll believe in you. Whatever you want to do, they'll still support you. Or at least for me, that's how it was.
That's true too. Not everyone.
Yeah, not everyone, but it's good to have that kind of support. If you ever need that support, let me know. I'll give you some words of encouragement. I don't mind.
Yeah, this is what we're here for. We're here
Right.
to talk about our story, talk about our day to day, and
Yeah.
hopefully uplift you in some kind of way.
Right. That's what I like. That's what I want for this podcast. I just want to give words of encouragement to someone out there, doing the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Don't give up, guys.
No.
You might find yourself in a situation where you feel stuck and it's hopeless, but there's going to be another day.
Right.
I'm not going to say that things will change within a day. It's not going to change within a month, a year. It might take a season or two, but time goes on. And as cliche as it sounds, time does heal all wounds.
Oof.
I mean, I'm not intending to go deep right
That's all
now.
good.
Again, this is just
Save
our
that for later.
introductory.
Yeah. We don't want to freak him out yet. We don't want to get real deep and heavy yet.
But, we get there. It's a part of the human experience. If you're not getting to that level, I encourage you guys to, again, reflect and ponder.
Absolutely. And if you need to push yourself. It is worth whatever you try to do. Sometimes I got to push myself to do something. Because I am very lazy.
Hey, he's doing a lot of workouts at the gym.
Oh, yeah. I've been hitting the gym recently. It doesn't look like it, but give this a little bit of time and you'll see some difference in the podcast. You're giving me some time. Give some time.
We'll work on it together.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
We have our own personal goals, too. It's not just academic.
Most
right?
certainly.
I think that's another important thing, too, is...
Set multiple goals?
Yes, set up your goals, but realize having one goal is not your life, right?
Right.
You have different aspects that you want to work on. You don't want to just focus on a relationship, which is definitely something that I find myself doing every now and then. School is not everything.
Mm-mm.
It's for people who want it.
You're right.
People who are willing to put in the work.
Correct.
And if they want to improve their circumstances, it's there. That's an opportunity. But it's not the only opportunity.
Right. And my dad tells me, getting a job is not the only way to make money. You can make money any way. And the same thing with life. You can make life great any way. One man's way is not the way for everyone.
Ooh, say that again. Preach it.
One man's way ain't the way for everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a different song for everyone, and you play it in the way you want to play it. If you want to go to a trade school and someone says, "Oh," you might want to go to that trade school. Just to try it. It's good to try things.
Definitely. I don't let people bag on you. I mean, if they bag on you, so be it. Yeah. You're never going to change.
It's going to happen all the time.
Mm-hmm. You're always going to have haters. Right. I mean, let's face it. I think the number one thing that prevents people from pushing past their circumstances or, just getting over that hurdle is themselves.
Ooh. We don't go there.
Let's face it.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
We are our biggest haters.
Right. But, I can see that. And we let the hate of others weigh onto our shoulders too heavily, and that drags us down further, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel that. I feel that.
It's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle. So
it is very.
I think it's common with age, as you mature, to learn to love yourself.
Yes. I agree. And a good book that helped me, like in JC, I got a book recommendation.
All right.
A really good book that I've read that helped me kind of realize that okay, you can you can do extraordinary things, and it's not all down to you're born like this. Is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. That's a great book.
I've never heard of this book before.
You need to read it. It's not a hard read at all. It's not a long read. It's a very, very good book, and it goes through a lot of the circumstances of people, everyday people. Well, it explains that in the book that no one is really extraordinary. There's no such thing as a pure genius or like a pure talent. It's all down to your dedication. It's all down to your commitment onto however you're gonna accomplish what you want to accomplish, and circumstance as well. And you can take a lot from that book. It is very solid. It's a solid book.
Can you run through like the synopsis of it? Like, don't give any spoilers, but like, how does it start off? Is it a fictional?
It is nonfiction.
Nonfiction, okay.
Yes, and it goes through a lot of different stories of like circumstance. So one that stuck in my head the most was there was a story about hockey players, and they were saying that during a certain month, I forget, it's been a while since I read this book, but during a certain month of the year, there's like a trend of like when hockey players, like professional hockey players, were born. Like it was during one of the summer months, I believe. And the book was like a running theory in hockey, saying that these players that were born this month are like destined to be professionals. Like it's if you pick up hockey during this time of your life, you have a good chance to be professional. And the book kind of dispelled that myth as like, oh, just circumstance. It's like just like something that happens. It's not something that's like destined. And they also go over, I don't know if you've ever heard of the 10,000 hour rule, where you spend 10,000 hours.
Yes.
It's from that book. Well, it goes over, it's not from that book, but they cover that in a lot of detail. They say like, oh, the Beatles weren't born overnight. They weren't natural talents. They worked at their craft and they got good. And they were really good musicians because they practiced so much and played so much.
Yeah.
That they just perfected what they did. You know what I'm saying?
Can you elaborate more on the 10,000 hour rule? Because that's not something I didn't hear until, I'd say, early of my adult life.
Right.
I was in a time where I was like looking for inspiration, looking for something just to give me that push and give me that edge to continue on. So please.
All right. So the 10,000 hour rule is like, it's kind of like it's more or less like it's a basis for if you want to master something, you spend at least 10,000 hours doing this one skill, and you can call yourself kind of mastered at it, because there are anomalies to this rule. People who spend 10,000 hours at something and still haven't truly mastered it, depending on whatever skill it may be, however complex it may be. And that's pretty much a 10,000 hour rule in that sense. But it's a great book. I recommend it. Malcolm Gladwell, he's a Jamaican American author. He's a very good author.
Malcolm Gladwell.
Malcolm Gladwell, yeah.
You guys heard that? Check that book out.
It's a very good book. I recommend.
And I like how you said, even though you've got 10,000 hours of whatever it is under your belt, you're still going to have something to learn, something to tweak, somehow make it your own. We're going to talk about in this podcast how we are works in progress.
Correct.
Always, 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 always. As long as you are above ground, you are breathing, it's a blessing.
Yes. I agree.
When you said 10,000 hours, I thought about, I'm like, what? Imagine if we had 10,000 episodes. I mean, technically that would be 10,000 hours.
Right.
Recorded hours.
Yeah.
Because how long did we spend? Today, I woke up around 6:37, and I was just cleaning, getting all of this set up. I mean, y'all can't see it, but we have a pretty nice setup, I'd say. We're in our living room in our dorm.
It is bougie AF. Very bougie.
Like, I gotta say, these,
do y'all see these plants?
We got those, when did we get that? We got that on Saturday or Sunday?
The plants?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember. It might have been Saturday.
I mean, we didn't have them with the intention of using them for a podcast, but hey, things happen.
Yes.
And you use what you have. Be resourceful.
Resourceful, yes. Look at that. Very well organized.
And going back to what we were just talking about is this morning, I set up all of this in hopes of recording early on during the evening. I was aiming for around 6:37, but we are recording. Oh, wow. It's past midnight. Oof. It is past midnight. It's about 12:14 right now. But
this is where I function the best, though. I'm a night owl.
Yeah. Sometimes late night conversations just bring out the, I don't know, some kind of way in you.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes you're just not feeling it though. You're just like, ugh, I want to go to sleep.
You're not wrong. Well, you know what? Recording this makes me feel a little awake. But going back to the 10,000 hour rule, don't judge a person by their cover because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't really know what's going on in terms of their mental processing or what their cognitive functioning is. Some people might have mental disabilities, and you can't tell that off of first glance. So whatever you guys see here, know that there's something going on behind the scenes. Always there's a production going on.
Yes.
Whether that's a professional production or personal production.
We're just throwing it all together at 6 a.m. in the morning, just scrambling at like 12 midnight trying to get this recording in, you know what I'm saying? No.
Hey, but we're here. That's what matters.
Yeah,
we are here. We are with you guys. And that's just going to segue us into this little break that we're going to take. So we'll see you guys right after this.
Time. And we are back from our magical break. That was a great skit. No, I'm already telling what we were putting the break.
Yeah.
No, no commitments for the break. We don't know what we're putting there yet.
I don't know. We'll see what we put in the middle of the break.
Oh, God.
Something for them to enjoy, of course. We want to make this entertaining as possible. But again, that's not the overall goal of this podcast. It's basically to document our day-to-day.
And chill.
Yeah. And just
chill podcast.
Make something out of nothing, basically. Think about it. We had no plans today.
No.
Basically.
Nope. Shout out to the people going to sleep to this podcast, by the way. You're welcome.
Yes, we are with you.
If you wake up now, sorry about that. You can go back to sleep.
Speaking of which, talking about the day-to-day.
Yes.
This is a little segment that I want to introduce, and it helps us kind of, again, reflect and take into account what we did today or how was our week,
For this
and
week,
this is what I like to call the good, the bad, and the blessed. Yes, because people are always talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what has been the worst thing that's been happening, but we're not about that drama.
Yeah, nah. I'm tired of hearing the ugly.
No, same. There are definitely toxic people out there who only focus on the negative, which, I mean, at some point in your life, you are going to face and you are going to be that person, because I've definitely been there.
Right,
I can't
we
say.
all have, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's bad not to dwell on it. You don't want to dwell on that too long, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You'll just get dragged down further into the toxicity, and it's like, there's no point being in there. You get nothing done in the toxicity, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta dig yourself out. So let's start.
So, Sal.
Yes.
How has your week been? What is your good? What is your bad? And what is your blessed? Or blessing? Blessing, however way you want to phrase it.
I'm going to start with bless.
All right.
I was blessed this week by one of my classes was canceled the whole week, so that was kind of cool.
All right. What's class?
It was Chicano Art and Study or Chicano Arts.
Ooh.
That was okay. I mean, it was cool because it was like my last class of the day.
Mm.
So I didn't have to like show up like at like butt crack of dawn and the dusk, and chill out there till nighttime. So I was
Yeah.
able to like chill out here, make myself dinner at a reasonable time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool. But yeah, so that was my blessed. Let's see. The good. I guess. What's good this week?
What is good, Sal? What is good this week?
Let's see. I found out there was a Smash tournament.
Oh, right. We are
That's
having
good.
a Smash tournament here at CSUCI.
Yes, and I'm gonna win.
You going to bring your game?
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm gonna win. Don't quote me. I'm not gonna win.
Smash has actually been I'd say it's been one of our bonding
It's our staple for the
activities.
dorm. This is the staple for the dorm. It keeps us together.
Yeah.
All of our pencil progression goes into Smash, and we just talk the most smack on Smash.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna rip each other's heads off at one point. I feel it.
I mean, it's to the point, guys. I mean, if you're a gamer, you understand this.
Yes,
It's to the point where your hands are sweaty, but you're like in it.
my butt crack be sweating just a little bit.
You got the back sweats.
Yes,
And you're just like zoning into the game. It's hilarious because you could feel the tension, and then your friends or our dorm mates, they're just like,
Oof.
"Hey, stop bullying me!"
Shout out Jenny.
But yeah, so there is a Smash tournament.
Yes.
So what has been your bad this week?
Ooh, let's see the bad. Well, it's not yet gonna happen, but I gotta catch up on some schoolwork. Not a lot though, but I'm gonna do some schoolwork before Monday. So that's bad. Not so bad, but that's bad enough.
It's an opportunity, man. Schoolwork helps sharpen your brain. It prepares you for the tests that make up basically your whole grade. I think that's a big difference.
No, we ain't got no tests in history.
What?
We just write papers all day.
There's no tests?
Barely.
No quizzes?
I mean, we have like this like multiple guest quiz, but like that's nothing.
That is some bull.
Welcome to history. Welcome to humanities. Shout out humanities. Sorry,
Well,
STEM majors.
If you guys hate tests, guys, here's one major that you could explore.
What you gotta write?
I think it's important for people to learn how to write, though.
Very.
Very important.
I have read some terrible papers over my lifetime. Oh my god. Sorry though. I mean, you learn.
You go through ups and downs, right?
Yeah.
You learn. It's a learning process.
Of course.
School is a learning process.
I figured I didn't know how to write until I was in my senior year of high school, and I still am learning to write even till this day. So like, all I'm saying is just don't show up to college with like a 10th grade writing skill.
I mean, I think
They will tear you apart.
that's true.
They tore me apart.
That's very true.
It was not good.
But they help push you to be a better self, to your better
Yes.
self.
Yes. Absolutely.
Shout out to Professor Dean, aka David Yang.
Professor
He was
Dean?
actually my diversity teacher back at Mission College in Santa Clara, and he called me out on my writing. He's like, "Hey, don't write the way you talk. There's a way to elaborate on your thoughts without having, I don't know, bad grammar."
Right.
And he's right. There are ways. It's a different way of communication. And the one thing that he emphasized was, if you can't write your own story, then who will?
That is solid right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's like oof. Got a little goosebump right now.
I mean, not to take this there, but think about history. Who writes the
Ooh.
history book?
People?
People, right? I gotta go here.
Uh-oh.
So, like, in terms of like culture
Yes.
and the history of America,
Yes.
who wrote the history book of America?
White people.
Yeah, basically. So think about it, guys. The people who conquer you and your people are the people who get to decide how to tell that story. And that's going to be set in that perspective.
You know what's crazy?
What's up?
History is changing. I love it.
Plus.
But it's changing in like we're getting, instead of like top down history where it's the history you've learned growing up, where you look at the overall arching aspects of history, the giant events of history and all that, and the key players. we're looking at more cultural history, like more bottom up,
Mm.
from like the everyday person, how they lived, and like however life may have been, all the way up to the top, how major events affected them and all that. And I think it's a beautiful way that history is evolving. Oh, I'm just tooting my own history horn right now.
No, I
That's how I
feel it,
feel about
man.
it.
You're passionate.
Yeah, I like to think so, but
I mean, you need to be passionate to the point where
you're almost
it
psychotic.
irks you.
You're almost psychotic, yes.
Okay, I want to say psychotic, but you know,
Yes.
it drives you crazy to the sense that your mind isn't stopping. Like, however way you look at life, it's usually reflected in your studies or like what you're studying, right? Okay, an example is you're doing history, right?
Yes.
And look at us. We're talking about our histories and looking into the histories of other people, at least in the future, right?
Yep.
And talking from the bottom up. That's what we're doing.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. And we're just recording this for some dudes like 50 years down the line and be like, man, look at these guys.
Yeah, we're figuring out life right now, guys. We're with you. Like,
Yeah. We're clueless as well.
yeah. High
We should-
key. High key.
Shout out, speaking of clueless, shout out to my boy Sebastian Hernandez.
Hey.
Accepted the University of San Antonio.
Hey.
Big
that's
ups,
what's
big
up.
ups. He's
That's
doing
what's up.
cybersecurity.
Oh,
He's a smart one.
so he's really into computers and coding.
Yeah, he's a nerd. Just like me.
There's nothing wrong. We need the nerds.
Yeah. Big ups though.
We
Big
need
ups.
the
shouts.
geeks.
Yeah.
Let's just demolish that stigma about nerds and geeks. If anyone's called you a nerd or
I
if
own it.
anyone's called you a geek,
Own it.
own it. Exactly. Own that. Because
Girls
that's
love geeks.
who you are. And it just means you have a mental capacity to process information and focus. That's something I don't have. Just a disclaimer, y'all. I got ADHD. I don't know if you could tell. I'm always moving and I can't sit still. If I'm sitting still, know that my mind is jumping around like a little crazed monkey.
Oof.
Like me.
Hey.
Going back to the segment, the good, the bad, and
Oh yeah, it's your
the
turn.
blessed.
I forgot to ask.
Not
Shame on me.
No shame, no shame.
No. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Go ahead. You
Okay.
can start any order. No pressure. In any order.
I want to talk about just my move here because I come from the Bay Area.
All right. Shout out Bay Area.
Shout out to the Bay. It's changing
Yes,
and
sir.
it's evolving. It's definitely pushing people out in that sense, but a little more about that on another episode.
That's gentrification, yo.
Oh, oof. Okay,
No, we'll
you're
say that.
setting out the bricks and
We'll-
foundation for the next couple of videos.
Yeah, I'm just laying the bricks down. We haven't built the house yet. We gonna build it later though. We gonna get to it.
We'll get there, guys. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming down to SoCal, I've come to realize how fast-paced it is in the Bay Area. Not that I didn't realize it there, but the contrast is different. And I think being at CSUCI is also adding to that because we're located in, I'd call it a rural area.
Almost definitely. There's fields outside our window right
Mhm.
now. You can like crack the window open and you hear the coyotes out there. It's like
Yeah.
going crazy.
We're literally nestled in the middle of like a couple of mountains or hills. Hills or mountains? I mean,
Mountains. I call
mountains.
them mountains. We got no mountains where I live in the Central Valley. They're mountains.
yeah. So
So
our
no
walls are
hills.
mountains. It's
What?
beautiful.
Yeah.
Driving down the street at night, you'll
Ooh.
literally see the moon rise
Yes.
above the mountain, and it's just a nice big backdrop. It's beautiful.
Sunsets here hit hard. They hit different. You get up to that hill behind the dorms.
Mhm.
It's a big hill, and you can see all the way out to the ocean. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're 10 minutes away from the ocean.
Yes.
Something wow. I'm going to say that again. We are 10 minutes away from the ocean. That's something I can't say from in the Bay
We don't
without
go very
being
often.
in Santa
though.
Cruz.
We don't go very often.
We don't, to be honest, we don't go often. But to
No.
be fair, I've only been here for less than 3 weeks.
We should go to the ocean.
Let's go.
Alright.
Actually, that's one of our assignments for our class.
Which
Me
one?
and one of our dorm mates class together.
Which class?
It's history of psychology. Surprisingly.
Oh, what the?
Yeah.
Taking to the ocean?
We are taking it's Psych 310 with Dr. Virgil Adams, and he encouraged us to actually go and take a trip to the beach and meditate.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah. I'm like, what kind of a teacher does that, right? So I think that I'm going to add that to my good. So my transition and
Good, bad, and
acclimation.
blessed.
Yeah, it's been a good experience. I couldn't have asked for better dorm mates.
Hey.
I mean, not gonna lie, choosing which dorm I wanted to stay in
that was a
was
pain.
a heart attack.
Yes, it was a pain, dude.
Uh-uh.
They give you the schematic list, and you're like, "What does this mean?
Exactly.
What does this
It's
mean?"
like, so you're not only trying to think about your room situation,
Who
but
lives
in
there?
the back of your mind, you're thinking about who you're rooming with.
Yep. You're like, man, who is this guy? Salvador? What the?
I'm like, who is this guy? Sal? Why is he so nice to me?
Oof.
Is there something else about it? Am I missing something? I'm just kidding.
I'm a weirdo. I'm a weirdo.
You know what? Embrace it, guys. If you're a weirdo, embrace it. Those are your
Yes.
quirks. Live it. If y'all watched My Hero Academia or
Weebs.
Boku no Hero,
Weebs out here. Weebs.
I'm a
Weeb
weeb.
squad.
I'm a weeb at heart, man. That's my childhood.
Don't tell him.
Use your quirks. I think that's what really makes you who you are, and learn to embrace it. Don't let anyone talk smack about that. But let me talk about the rest of the sequence. Let me talk about the bad.
All right.
I don't think I've had like a bad here. I think it was,
It could just be like weekly stuff.
huh?
It could be just like small stuff too.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's also a blessing, is that I haven't had anything bad happen yet. Knock on wood.
Oof.
But on Wednesday, I believe, I think I was just feeling some kind of way. I felt super
What you mean, dog?
unproductive, super unmotivated, and I don't know where it came from. I didn't do anything. I went to class, of course, but I usually read my textbook after class. But in terms of productivity, I did nothing.
Yeah, we all got those days. We
Yeah.
all got those days where it's like, you don't want to do nothing, man.
And it's
Just-
okay.
Yeah, it's good to be lazy sometimes.
Yeah.
Not all the time though. Take a little time for yourself.
That's another thing. I mean, I had to get myself in that mindset where I told myself it's okay to feel this kind of way.
But don't make it a habit.
Yeah, he's right. I had to tell myself, okay, let this day go, let it pass, because the more you fight it, the more you're going to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. I think, was that the day that we went? No, I went to the gym that night. And that's where I like broke a sweat, and I did something good for myself. I made it a self-care day. I embraced it for what it was. It was, instead of it being a downer, I turned it into an opportunity to focus on myself.
I remember that day too.
Yeah.
It was a good day for me. I ate some hot Cheetos and sat around.
There you
It
go.
was
See,
a good day.
simple things, right? Simple things in life.
Yeah.
You gotta embrace those.
Yes. I'll go ahead. Sorry, I'll wait after.
No,
you talk.
what were you gonna say?
No, I want to hear you're blessed.
All right. Blessing. I think this was a blessing. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh.
The fact that this podcast is coming into fruition
Yes.
is a big milestone in my head, because it's an idea that I've been conceptualizing. But the
Likewise,
fact that
likewise.
it's here.
Yeah. As someone who's down to do it, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Sal. Like, who would have thought that I would have moved down from the Bay Area? What's about 390 miles?
A
I
long
think.
way away. Yeah,
It's
it's way up there.
And then I come here and I get situated in this dorm specifically.
We're the
Not gonna
misfit
tell
dorm?
y'all which dorm it is.
We're the
But-
misfits, though.
Huh?
We're the misfit dorm.
Yes, I found myself at a home.
Yeah.
This is home.
We're all characters here.
Yeah.
We're all
Everyone's a
crazy
character.
yeah.
Everyone's different. I think that's the cool part about our dorming situation, right?
We're so weird and different. We just mix well. It's a weird combination, man.
Mhm.
It's like cornbread and beans.
Cornbread and beans.
It's weird. You wouldn't think they mix well, but they mix.
All right. I'll
They
take your
smack.
word for it. I haven't tried it, but I mean, there's
Chili
something that
bean-
we could make
cornbread
later.
and chili.
Cornbread and chili.
Yeah.
I straightened up did not ever taste that in my life.
Oh man. All right.
Something to do, something new to experience.
That's a powerful combo.
All right.
Very powerful combo.
I think that's another thing I really find a blessing, is that for the most part, our dorm mates are down. Like they're down to do anything and everything, even study. Um, one of our dorm mates would come and study with me every now and then, and it's nice to have people who want to study with you. You kind of need that support system, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
Something that was brought up in one of my classes is that people need to have a sense of belonging in order to do good in school, do well.
I would think so. Yeah, I agree with that. That's good. It's good methodology, good ideology. Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
because then it feels like you're contributing. It feels like you can
Fit
I don't-
in.
Yeah.
You can fit in. You know, you could do well for yourself and then excel from there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Makes sense. Where did you hear this from? What class?
It was from my University 300 and 310 class. So in those classes, it's really geared towards transfer students. And I appreciate it because they try to teach you skills that will help you progress in your academic career.
Right.
And that's important. You
Shout
need
out-
your resources.
Yeah, shout out first generation college students.
Mm.
Shout out, big ups, big ups. We doing it out here.
Yeah,
We
we
really
need
out
more
here.
of y'all.
We out here. We out here.
So if you're a first gen college student, I'm not. I'm just like disclaimer. I'm not a first gen.
First gen, we out here, boys. Yep.
You're not alone, and
No,
the
sir.
struggle is real.
Yes.
Sal, you told me a little bit about that, but you guys got this.
Yes.
You guys got this.
Very much so. Even if college isn't your thing, you know, trade school, med school, whatever it may be, do it to your fullest. Don't ever half-ass it. You know, keep going. Keep on keeping on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. Key right there. Believe it. No, speak it, believe it, and you achieve it.
Actions speak louder than words.
All right. I see that. That's
let-
what I think, though.
Yeah, let your deeds speak for who you are rather than what you tell people who you are, because that just shows more of your character.
And
you don't
then-
have to preach about yourself. You don't have to tell anything about that. Anything that you do, you just do it, and people see that.
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, people ain't gonna listen to what you gotta say.
You're not wrong.
You gotta show them what's up.
Exactly. Like, you can't say that you're an artist or you're, I don't know, a writer.
Like, oh, you know instruments. Oh, that's cool, dog. They want to see you play.
Exactly.
They trying to see something.
So share. So
Yeah.
don't even think about it in the sense that, oh, I got to show off. It's not about that. It's more of, at least the way I like to frame it in my head is, you have a gift, you have a talent, you have all of these abilities. I mean, knock on wood, but if you're watching this and that's already a blessing. You are able to see, you are able to hear, you are able to understand, and you have the technology to see this being put out. So those are already blessings that you have. So utilize them to your fullest potential.
Correct, Muda, exactly. Even if you don't think you have a talent too, it's somewhere in there. You got a talent somewhere in there. If you don't think you have one, you gotta do some searching. Just a little bit of searching.
Mhm.
You'll find something.
Make it your own.
Everyone's good at something. No one's good at nothing. That's what I come to learn.
Oh my God, I had to think about that. I'm like, no one's good at nothing.
Exactly. No one is a professional at nothing. Someone does something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There is something someone is good at.
Yeah.
Minutely, you're still good at it. Or even, great at it. You're still doing something. You know?
Mm-hmm. Find your thing, whatever
Yes.
that thing is. It's out there, and
Run
like
with it.
Sal said, go soul search for that.
Run with it.
Mm-hmm.
Sprint with it.
I think pursuing a new skill or a new hobby, that takes a lot of courage to put. It's basically not just putting the time in there, but you're putting yourself, which takes courage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary too, because you see, if you ever look online, compare your skill, you see a lot of the people that are actually well versed in it and all that. And it's intimidating to see people who are like, ooh,
Yeah.
skilled.
Yeah. The comparison is real. Like,
It is deadly.
oof.
Sometimes
yes.
it is deadly to compare yourself.
Please don't do that.
Unless you're
it's
ready.
a force of habit.
Unless you're ready for it. Don't ever compare yourself to someone else.
Yeah.
you have to be mentally ready for it. You have to be ready to like take that hit. Like, okay, I'm not as good as I thought I was, but I can improve.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I think that's a key word. Is there's always room for improvement, and you start from there. You need to start. That's the key thing. Is you start wherever you
Yes.
are, and think about it in this way: wherever you start, whether it's good or bad, that's the worst you will ever be.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's
Mhm.
solid. You can't ever go backwards.
Exactly.
I hear that.
You learn. You learn as you go.
Or you just stretch your muscles out if you get tensed up. You know, you don't do it a long time. You know, you get real worked. You get over loose with it, and then you get back to where you were.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It's okay to take 2 steps back also. You know, if you got to put that on the back burner, if something happens,
Yep.
know that there is a baseline that you started at, and you just gotta keep going, man.
Yep. That's true.
And you know what? That's something I think that relates to this also. This podcast is, I didn't think I would get here. And I'm not going to lie, I had a lot of like internal conflict. Like, am I really going to do this? I watch a lot of podcasts, and yeah, I actually watch. There are certain YouTubers who film their podcast and they also release it as an audio.
Right. I just watch all the garbage podcasts. They're not garbage, but it's like the crazy podcasts.
Yeah, I it's nice to watch those podcasts because
funny. They're
get a
great.
sense of like, oh, okay, there's people who are real out there.
Yeah, they're doing their own thing and they're doing it well.
They're characters
They are doing
in
it.
themselves. But going back to that, the whole comparison thing, it adds on to a phenomena in psychology that we call imposter syndrome. And basically it's, again, that negative self-talk. I don't deserve this. I'm not ready. I'm not as good as whoever it is. And you got to overcome that. And that plays on to the whole 10,000 hour rule and pushing yourself and striving for that growth.
I agree. Who knew we'd come back to 1,000-hour rule? 10,000 hour rule. Blah, blah, blah.
Everything connects, guys. You just got to, again, reflect, look back on the history,
See
whether
those
it's an hour.
See the connections? Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
We are pre-programmed to find patterns, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, it's great.
It is.
I can remember a lot of stuff from history, and that's why.
That's why you have a good memory.
So I think I do. I don't know if I do or not.
I think he does. I have the memory of maybe a goldfish, but more of like a dog. When I first compared myself to Dory from Finding Nemo, I'm very present for one thing, but after that, and I'm focused on another thing, that moment is gone, and I'm like, 100% here. Let's keep going. But because of that, I lose a lot of things. I don't remember a lot of things.
Oh, man. Oh,
But you know
jeez.
what? It's kind of fun in a way. It's like, oh, I'm juggling all of this in my head, or am I? I don't even remember what ball I dropped.
Oh, man. Holy crap. That's
Yep.
something.
It is. It's something. I live with it, and I'm learning to embrace it. That's how this came to be.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that earlier. I forget, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I got here. It was definitely a self-discovery path, journey, and it helped me learn how to learn, if that makes sense. ADHD is still counted as a learning disability because it affects the way you focus, which is a huge thing when it comes to learning, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you don't have the inspiration or motivation to learn something, you basically don't do anything. You really got to push yourself. Like, again, we were saying is you have to find that motivation to keep going regardless of whether or not you like what you're doing.
Yep.
So you're not going to enjoy everything in your life, guys. And then that's
That's the way life is.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not meant for you to enjoy every little part. Otherwise, it would just be boring.
But there are some people that can like just squeeze every bit of enjoyment out of even out of the worst things.
Yes.
And I aspire to be like them.
Same. And I think we're on the right path, I'd say.
We're trying.
We're trying. We're
We're
trying.
getting there. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Agreed. It's learning how to change your mentality
Yep.
regardless of what your situation is and what the outcome may be. Because, again, going back to what we were first talking about, too, is there will always be a tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. I think yeah, that sounds like
So
a good point to kind of end this podcast, guys.
oh, it's already ending.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's weird, right? We prepared well over 12 hours to get this situated, but it's
Oof.
done.
Oh my.
How do you feel?
I feel. I feel. I guess.
Are you gonna go to sleep?
Nah.
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 Alright.
It's Friday. What is it? Friday? It's Friday day.
It's
Huh?
technically Saturday now.
Oh, Saturday. Excuse me.
Disclaimer, y'all. This is water.
Oh yeah, water.
This is water. Stay hydrated. Please be smart. If you're gonna go on a hike or if you're gonna do anything, be safe.
Take
You
a
don't want
buddy.
to endanger yourself. You don't
Take
want to
a buddy.
endanger others.
Take a buddy.
Take a buddy.
Hey, if you're gonna drink, get an Uber. Do not drink and drive.
Get an Uber, please.
And if you listen to this podcast while you're drunk, yeah, what are you doing, dog? That's crazy.
We're with you.
Especially if you made it this far. If you made it this far and you're wasted, dude, oh my goodness.
Props to
You're
you
another-
and thank you.
You're another animal.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. That's cool.
Thanks for watching, y'all. I will catch y'all later.
Big ups to
Peace.
everyone. Big ups to 559. Peace.
Later.